Miners are migrating from Bitcoin to Ethereum to mine because. Also, don't worry about guys in chat, boys. Bitcoin and Ethereum miners both have made a significant chunk in revenues over, I think he meant chunk. It's misspelled here. And by the way, I'm going to try to be as open-minded here with this article, but I think that there needs to probably be a lot more research done on this article, and we'll talk about why as we go through it. Both have made a significant chunk in revenues over the years as demand skyrocketed. However, 2022 might come as a surprise, especially for the largest cryptocurrency. January proved to be a tough month for Bitcoin miners. Miners generated approximately $1.2 billion in revenue during the first month of 2022. While the figures seem impressive, the total revenue for January went down by $220 million compared to December of 2021, a staggering 15% decrease in mining revenue. And remember, yesterday we talked about the huge decrease in revenue of some of these big miners and how they're reporting for Q1. It's definitely impacting them, right? We're also aware things that are changing within the Bitcoin mining markets is as opposed to creating more shares as a public company and offering those to the public because of the dip in the market conditions, a lot of these large miners are shifting from public share options and that sort of setup, those securities, and moving towards just borrowing from institutions, traditional financial institutions like banks and so on. While the figures seem impressive, we went over that. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, here's the journey. All right, explain it to me, bro. Bitcoin miners took a tumble in mining profitability during the month of April. However, Ethereum miners saw $224 million more revenue than Bitcoin miners. Here's the reason he says. Okay. We've been talking about this. There's a huge difference between Ethereum mining and Bitcoin mining right now. And that is that essentially Ethereum mining up until the 100% light hash rate unlock that just happened, which is affecting network, right? Profitability or hash rate. But up until now, as well as the difficulty bomb, let's not forget that too, because that's going to be artificially increasing difficulty. So that's going to be skyrocketing as well here over the next couple months. Bitcoin mining is not following its traditional trajectory, which is following the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin mining is going up no matter what. The difficulty on the network is going up no matter what. What does that translate into? That translates into reduced profits, okay? So just because, and on the flip side, Ethereum has not moved at all pretty much off of that 1 petahash bar. It hasn't really been going up. So it's important to note that that directly affects the amount of revenue. So because the difficulty is going up on Bitcoin, the revenue is going down, and these miners are still investing huge amounts of money into expanding even while the price of Bitcoin is going down. Ethereum, on the flip side, from my perspective, if I look at difficulty on the network since the beginning of the year, has remained pretty much the same. It's flat, right? People are not building more mining rigs for Ethereum. We are going to see, probably maybe a 5 to 10% increase in hash rate over this week, somewhere around there, due to, of course, the fact that we have the light hash rate 100% unlock, which is a little bit of an outlier case. But I don't necessarily see the amount of money being generated by mining Ethereum to actually to prove out that essentially Ethereum miners or Bitcoin miners are moving to Ethereum mining. But as per Yacht's graphical insight below, let's see what he says the reason is. At press time, Bitcoin miners witness a significant decline when compared to the previous year. In fact, April's revenue went down to $34 million by March 2022's value of approximately $1.21 billion. Investors rooted to gain at least the Bitcoin mining profits, but the Bitcoin network suffered drastically as Bitcoin mining difficulty spiked, touching 29.79 T. Overall, the profitability of Bitcoin over the past year went down 31% since April of 2021. Ethereum and the miners of the largest altcoin took this opportunity to race ahead. Mining Ethereum became even more profitable when the crypto toppled the $4,000 resistance back in 2021. And currently, with the upcoming merge, it has become increasingly difficult for Bitcoin to remain the crypto king. More and more miners migrated to the Ether network with these ongoing developments. Ethereum miners' revenue surpassed Bitcoin's because of the total number of coins earned was multiplied by the relatively higher Ethereum price than Bitcoin in April. But the chart he's showing here is the miner revenue monthly, and the chart you would want to be looking at is the hash rate. So this article is completely confusing, and I think like one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up is because I see a lot of holes in this argument, and maybe you guys should be aware of it because this is kind of what's getting sold to. By the way, this was sent to me by someone that has nothing to do with mining, and so I thought it was important to address. Ethereum miners recorded $1.39 billion in April's revenues, while Bitcoin miners took in around $1.16 billion US dollars. Unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum revenue increased by 3% from March. Overall, miners' revenue is dictated using the price of a cryptocurrency and the number of coins earned within a given period. To make the situation worse, Bitcoin miners have even sold a major chunk of their Bitcoins as the sell-off hit the market. So, there's their market position. They aren't tracking the difficulty on the network or the amount of hash rate on the network. They were purely basing it off of the revenue. So once again, the reason why this is flawed, and I'll just bring it up again, is because what we've seen traditionally now, or not traditionally, here we go. What we've seen traditionally with Bitcoin mining is that the amount of hash rate on the network would follow the price to a certain extent, or at least the pace at which the mining difficulty is increasing, or the amount of hash rate on the network is increasing. However, now that's not so much true. We have the difficulty and the amount of hash rate on Bitcoin increasing no matter what, regardless of price. Doesn't seem to be or appear to be slowing down whatsoever. And miners, large firms, and so on are finding different ways to fund the growth, even through, of course, these current market conditions. That is a good sign. That does mean that large companies have confidence within Bitcoin. It does mean that there is that potential of the traditional super cycle being broken to a certain extent, because this isn't what you would typically see in a bear market, right? Or running up to a bear market, you would start to see kind of the growth start to slow down in the hash rate of Bitcoin. But that's the reason this is flawed, is that essentially that increases the difficulty, which decreases the profitability. If anything, it would be proof, in my humble opinion, that Ethereum miners are moving to Bitcoin mining. If anything, it would be the complete opposite of what this article postures. The reason why Ethereum miners are making more money is because the growth of the network hash rate has slowed due to the threat of the merge. This can also be compounded and realized by the fact that GPUs have come down in price while much quicker than ASICs. And ASICs should start coming down in price if we were to actually see this article prove out to be accurate. So hopefully that explains it and you guys are up to date. I thought it was very important to address again, primarily because it was brought to my attention by somebody that doesn't really participate as much within mining or at all. And basically that's what we do. We report on this stuff from the perspective of a miner so that you can get some insight on it. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.